Hi, this is Nathan Tintle. In this learning goal video, we're going to talk about how to state the null and alternative hypotheses in words and symbols. We're going to use the rock, paper, scissors example. In general, the null hypothesis is a statement about the unknown parameter which reflects its value if the chance model is true. Some people call the null hypothesis the dull hypothesis because it's the random chance explanation. In the rock, paper, scissors study, the null hypothesis is that the long-run probability your friend chooses scissors is 33%. One way to write that in symbols is with a capital letter H and a subscript 0 to stand for the null hypothesis, and then the Greek letter pi equals 0.33 to represent the long-run probability your friend chooses scissors is 33%. Make sure if you're going to write down the Greek letter pi that you define it as is shown on the screen, that pi represents the long-run probability. The alternative hypothesis is a statement about the parameter which represents the there is an effect explanation. It contradicts the null hypothesis, and typically the alternative hypothesis is what the researchers are hoping to gather evidence to support. In the rock, paper, scissors study, the alternative hypothesis is the long-run probability your friend chooses scissors is less than 33%. In symbols, we use HA to stand for alternative hypothesis, and then we say that the alternative hypothesis is that pi is less than 0.33. A few cautions. First, when students start using symbols to write down the null and alternative hypothesis, it's sometimes clear that students don't understand what the symbols mean. The first two bullets here are correct. HO represents the null hypothesis, pi equals 0.3 says the long-run probability is 0.33. But some students will write the third bullet, H0 equals 0.33. That really doesn't make any sense. It's not that the null hypothesis is 33%. The null hypothesis says that the long-run probability is 33%. A second caution. Sometimes students mix up which hypothesis is the null and which one's the alternative. Again, one way students remember this is that the null hypothesis is the dull hypothesis, or the chance model hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is what the researchers are hoping to show. Finally, some students write the hypotheses about the statistic. Hypotheses are always about parameters. So when writing our hypotheses, we're not talking about p hat, and we're not going to talk about values like 2/12 or 0.167. That's what we observed in the study. That actually happened. What we're trying to learn and draw conclusions about is what would happen in the long run, that long run unknown parameter value.